Welcome to the 24th Annual Caribbean-American Heritage Awards Gala, a celebration of excellence and service. Tonight, we proudly celebrate the achievements of 10 distinguished Caribbean nationals. Educator and activist Walker Williams Jr., CEO at Metallica Commodities Corporation, Dr. Glendon Archer, a Guyanese, renowned transplant surgeon and founder of the National Minority Transplant Education Program at Howard University, Dr. Clive Callender of Barbados, Trinidadian-born American politician who was the 18th Lieutenant Governor of the U.S. state of Florida, Jennifer Sandra Carroll, Congressman Eliot Lance Engel, friend of the Caribbean and the U.S. representative for the 19th Congressional District for the state of New York. He's called a tech evangelist, and he's one of only 7 people worldwide who holds the keys to the internet, Trinidadian Bevil Wooding. World-renowned Jamaican scientist, a leader in the field of medicinal plant research, Dr. Henry Lowe. Director of Corporate Social Responsibility at Viacom's BET Networks, Ms. Nika Norville. Haitian-American Karl A. Racine, the first elected Attorney General of the District of Columbia, and Jamaican singer-songwriter, record producer, guitarist, global reggae sensation, the strong one, Etana. Tonight's gala host is veteran television news broadcaster Dame Maureen BUNYAN, with interviews and commentary by Carib Nation's Abby Charles and the announcer, yours truly, Ian Edwards. Stay tuned. The celebration begins right after this short break.
Support for the 24th Annual Caribbean-American Heritage Awards were provided by Bert Smith & Company, helping clients succeed today and planning for tomorrow. Federal Management System, a proven leader in helping federal and municipal agencies achieve their goals. The Future Forum, helping leaders scope the signals embedded in the landscape of the present and move from future shock to future sense. JDOS International, a woman-owned management consultant business. And Rowe, empowering physicians to provide exceptional healthcare online.
Welcome back to the 24th Annual Caribbean-American Heritage Awards Gala. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Maureen BUNYAN.
Thank you so much. Distinguished members of our diplomatic corps, elected officials, friends, and family, welcome to the 24th Annual Haitian-American Heritage Awards Gala, sponsored by the Institute for Caribbean Studies. Now, every year, as we all know, time passes, and we also suffer losses. And we try to mark the memories of those we've lost in the last year, and those who've been so important to ICS and to our Caribbean community. We'd like tonight to pay tribute to someone who was a founding member of the Honorary Advisory Board of ICS. His name may be familiar to many of you because I know that many of his friends are here tonight, and that is Walker Williams. Walker was a friend of the Caribbean from back in the day, before it became popular to be a friend of the Caribbean. He was one of the first people to write a check to underwrite an ICS project. He was a cornerstone of ICS. We would like to ask one of Walker's friends and associates, Shanaz Rangwali, to join us on stage.
Thank you, Claire and ICS, for honoring Walker. I'm humbled and honored today to be here to accept an award for Walker, my boss, my mentor, my friend. Rest in peace, Walker. Your legacy lives on. You're an icon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shanaz. Now it's my great pleasure to present to you my dear friend, the founder and president of the Institute for Caribbean Studies, Dr. Claire Nelson. This is the 24th year, as we all know, that she has put together this dinner and hosts this tradition that we have come to call the Caribbean American Heritage Awards. She spent many sleepless nights and I know sleepless days putting this together for us every year. She loves the Caribbean, she loves our Caribbean community, and she shares her generosity of time as well as her generosity of intellect with us all. Please welcome President of the Institute for Caribbean Studies, Dr. Claire Nelson.
That is the problem when you try to show off, you know. You score the way almost as much as me, but me look cute, don't you? Jungle happens. This is my jungle outfit. Jungle is the mask of mermaking that sanctifies the tears. Jungle is the voice of memory that calls us to remember another place, another time, another way of doing, of being. Jungle happens. Jungle is the language of the drum, speaking Wolof, Yoruba, Twi, Fanti. Jungle is loud. Jungle must be loud, because 363 days a year, there is a deafening silence. Today, the silence is no more. Today, we call you to dream awake, to make the invisible visible. It is time now to lift the silence on the excellence, the genius that flows in our veins. This is Jungle. Jungle is loud. The time is now. Gentle people, as you all know, you heard, that one of the things we want to do at ICS is to honor those people who do what they do to assure that nobody can have it to say that Caribbean people come to America just to live off of the people and welfare. Not at all. No, we come here and we work with 3 jobs. We drive taxis, we clean nurses, keep people in their homes, in nursing homes. Some of us start off by picking apples in the fields. And there's some of us who have family members who have died in the armies protecting the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness of this country. No, my auntie will say, I don't know why I'm living. I don't know why they can walk without a stick. But honor from your own person is like a symphony, it's like sweet piano music. Auntie will say, she wants people to honor her, right? Honor her while she has teeth into her mouth. Because she wants the others to be able to eat the yellow yam and the jerk chicken and the nice curry goat. Auntie will say, I want you to honor me while I'm living. Don't make sense to come bawling over the grave when we're dead. Your tears mean more to you than me when we're gone. Because Drumpy and Dumpy can jump and fit and leave. So, I always say, make we honor these people while they're living, so that they can see to climb the stage and claim the prize, when they can hear every word of praise you have to give, because they can only enjoy it while they're alive. So folks, tonight we're here to honor these wonderful people of Caribbean heritage and friends of the Caribbean who have actually supported the dream of Caribbean people. And you know, as I imagine the future, as we think about the past some 100 years ago, when a young Jamaican immigrant who ended up being our first most popular deportee had a dream that he could start a movement that could transform society. Yes, his dream was bigger, more and audacious, you know, until we all had to exhume his body from Engel and carry up to Jamaica and give him title, the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey. No, Garvey had a dream dream for our future. And we sit down here, and in these compelling times, and interesting times, when you can't keep up with the tweets and the tweets, what we have to do is have a compelling vision of our own shared future. Don't make nobody dream the future for you. What is the future of the Caribbean, the American dream? And what's the Caribbean version of that? Are we going to dream in reggae and dance and soca? What are we going to do as different? As I imagine it in 2030, I can see the National Caribbean American Heritage and Cultural Center in Washington, D.C. opening the Reggae in America exhibition in partnership with VP Records and International Reggae Poster Competition. And I can see this center being a home to the Garvey papers in partnership with the Smithsonian Institution, Museum of African Affairs. And yes, the friend Donald by now will have a queer hand in the Smithsonian or Urbana Clinic. I see this in the future. I see us creating this Caribbean American Marketing Alliance, where we can engage a network of us, the farmers and the distributors and the artists to bring Caribbean food and cultural artifacts even more into the American marketplace and like more money, that's what I see. So these things we can do if we only dream the way God dreamed. Never mind the volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous challenge we face as Americans and citizens of the world that is keeping from us in a state of future shock. Don't mind that. The fact is, many of us already are occupying America. From the schoolrooms to the sick rooms to the boardrooms to the war rooms, we are here. We honored several years ago the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency, a KC old boy, purple and white, yes. So we have it everywhere. We have claim ground in this country with Caribbean American Heritage Month. And we have to do more to gather our saints in these organizations. Some of you belong to Jamaican Nationals, Jamaican Maryland, Association of Haitian Professionals, Haitian-American Alliance, all these groups, CEPA from the Intellectual Property Association. So many groups and organizations have started. Let us come together to do what we can to ensure we continue to dream the American democracy into being. We have to plant our seeds in the ground of our optimism that knows no bounds and cultivate opportunities until they bear fruit. Yes, so tonight, as we honor those among us that demonstrate that they dream, I know that every one of us in here is the embodiment of your great-grandparents' dreams, those people that struck out from the fields of enslavement and colonialism, and they struck out to become educated and farmers, and they save up their money and they send it to school, and they send it to America, and here we are, some of us, doing so well, making America great already. So my friends and my family, tonight we honor those among us who demonstrate the light of God lives in us all. Through the Carah Awards, we lift up these exemplars of excellence whose genius and hard work make real America's success as a nation of immigrants. We are part of America's history. It's past, it's present, but moreover, we're part of America's future. We're here to stay. We now go home. So, let us lift our light to these men and women we honor, who shine as beacons of hope and glowing stars of the spirits of the Caribbean. Let us honor them, because we know at the root of all, to God be the glory.
Thank you so much, Claire. I think everybody wanted to get up and follow you wherever you wanted to go tonight. Thank you for your leadership. Now, Claire spoke about Caribbean people supporting each other and supporting our future. But we have people who are not of Caribbean descent who also support us and support our future. And our first award of the evening goes to a man who has been of tremendous support to us in our own U.S. Congress. Our Outstanding Political Leadership Award goes to Congressman Eliot Engel of New York's 16th Congressional District. Congressman Engel could not be here with us today, so we gave him an award yesterday on Capitol Hill. And we thank him for all of his friendship and for all of his support and legislative efforts on behalf of the Caribbean. Could we give a round of applause for Congressman Engel? Thank you.
When we come back, the presentation of the coveted Marcus Garvey Lifetime Achievement Award and the Vanguard Award, the 24th Caribbean American Heritage Awards. We'll be right back.
When America wants to know what's happening in the Caribbean diaspora, there is one clear choice.
Hello, welcome to Carib Nation.
Both people inside and outside are
very excited about today's program. Looking at you, I can tell that you have traveled the journey.
One television organization brings America close to the people, stories, and events that affects Caribbean life. Get close, get answers, get Carib Nation.
Back to the 24th Annual Caribbean American Heritage Awards Gala. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Ms. Maureen Bunyan.
Now, our next award is the Marcus Garvey Lifetime Achievement Award. This man's name may not be a household name yet, but keep it in mind. Keep the name Dr. Henry Lowe in mind. Because of his research, he has been awarded 6 U.S. patents and an orphan drug designation. The Marcus Garvey Lifetime Achievement Award will be presented to Dr. Henry Lowe by Her Excellency Ambassador Audrey Marks of Jamaica. But first, please look at this video.
This research work started back at the beginning of the 1980s, and at that time it was based on a childhood observation and fascination with the ball moss, which is popularly called old man's beard in Jamaica. I started asking, could there be some electromagnetic transformation of some of the chemicals in this plant with it growing on the electrical wires? And if so, could it have bioactive principles? That was my hypothesis, and I started working around that. I started my work with Dr. Brandt at the University of Maryland Medical School, and we found, to our surprise, the significant bioactivity of molecules that were isolated. I have a formula called alpha prostate formula, which I'm expecting to be ready for the market within 3 months from now. And I hope that will be the start of a major multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical industry in Jamaica, which hopefully will solve most of Jamaica's foreign exchange problems, as well as employment and support the scientific institutions like the 3 universities, which they are getting shares in the company, and not only the shares in the company, but will also help them to enhance their own research and get them developed and take the better things that have been done to market. I've got all the connections and the support for this, and I'm hoping that this will what will come of it.
Ambassador Mark.
Thank you, Madam MC. Excellencies, distinguished guests, honorees, friends all. Allow me to go off script a little bit just to say congratulations to Dr. Claire Nelson, the ICS team, and the entire team behind this awards function. You're doing an amazing job, and you're treasures of the Caribbean. Thank you for what you do. Congratulations also to all the honorees here tonight. You're all making us very proud. And I hope that at every table there's a Jamaican who was doing some translation when Dr. Claire Nelson was speaking. And she's so smooth at going in between the English and the Jamaican patois. But I wouldn't want you to miss any of the gems that she was speaking about in patois, such as more money, me say. You know, that's a very powerful statement because it speaks to financial empowerment for the Caribbean, and all that we're honoring tonight is about people achieving towards a better Caribbean, a more financially sound Caribbean. So again, thank you, Dr. Nelson. Dr. Henry Lowe, my friend and brother, I'm so proud to be here tonight to be speaking about you and to give you this award. You're a man with a big heart and mind. Did you see his bio all? It is still not fully showing all that Dr. Lowe has achieved. We'd need all night to read his achievements. Your work as an educator and as a research scientist, a hotelier, a philanthropist, and founder of several companies, Biotech R&D, Flavor Cure LLC, ESL LLC, etc., etc., all making great strides in the medical, chemistry, industry. We do not want to say it here, I don't see it mentioned here, but this man is transforming how the world will benefit from medical marijuana. And you're making great strides that will affect generations of people all around the world. We are proud of you. Thank you, congratulations, and it's a pleasure that I present to you the Marcus Garvey Lifetime Achievement Award.
Dr. Lowe, you don't know me. I don't know you. However, I know how to ask questions. I hope our audience doesn't mind if I do a little interview with you. Is that okay? This is going to be seen in Jamaica, you know. Okay. Now, I'd like to ask you, first of all, where were you born?
Kingston, Jamaica, and for Jamaicans, on to the talk.
And why did you decide, or at what time in your life did you decide that going into science and medicine was going to be your life's work?
It might sound strange to say, but you know, when children are growing up, at least in my time, they're asked, what do you want to be when you grow big? And some people said nurse, doctor, so I said I wanted to be a scientist. And I didn't know that I would be today.
We're very happy that you made that decision. Tell us a little bit about the nature of your work. We know that you have received 6 patents granted by the U.S. government, and that you're working, you also have working on an orphan drug. And the orphan drug, I understand, has to do with medical marijuana. Is that correct? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay.
Tell us, please, first, what is an orphan drug?
Very good question. If there's anybody in this audience who doesn't know or ever heard of it, don't feel too badly. It was something which Big Pharma benefited from all along. And many researchers don't know, both in medicine and in science. So here goes. Stop and think. Often tells you without parents, right? Nobody wants you, usually when you're an orphan. So the US government, I think about 40 years ago, found that there were certain types of diseases which Big Pharma was making provisions for because they were rare diseases, yet deadly, but they would not be giving them as much return on their investment. So people were left to die. So the US Congress took the decision to label any disease which had less than 200,000 patients or sufferers, I would like to call them. These were described as orphan diseases. And the drugs which are used to treat these are called orphan drugs. The good thing about it is that not only was there this special designation and done by the FDA, but it went a bit further in that the individuals who, or rather the researchers who found drugs to treat these diseases would get financial support from the NIH and the FDA. And may I just put a little commercial in here? You have to do some more on your own after that. I need about $2.5 million to take it to market. But the truth is that after you get there, we're looking at, and in fact for a developing country, the sort of returns, not only about saving lives and suffering, but the returns on that investment will be massive. So if there's any deep-pocketed person who would like to contact me, I'm available. But the truth is that, on a serious note, orphan drugs are very, very important to the lives of many persons because we have got the orphan drug designation for leukemia, AML. And you're maybe among the first to know here that we expect early next year to have a second orphan drug for the treatment of pancreatic cancer, where they're absolutely And I might say that many persons do ask me and my team from time to time how we manage. We have only 5 PhDs on the team. The big companies have anywhere from 40 to over 100 PhDs doing this type of work. So we have demonstrated how to use little to achieve much. And if anybody would like to award us, give us an award for that, we would really well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lowe. Congratulations. We will have a special takeaway before you leave tonight. As you leave from these doors, we will have a huge barrel in which we'd like you to make contributions to Dr. Lowe's work. And we will not let you leave the hotel until you have reached the $2.5 million threshold that he's looking for.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lowe. It's amazing what you can learn when you just ask questions. It's great. Now, we go from Dr. Lowe, who is at the top of his profession. And we go to someone who is at the start of her profession. We present now the Vanguard Award, which honors a young person who is already a leader. Tonight we honor Neneka Norville, who is a senior executive at BET, and her award will be presented by His Excellency Ambassador Riyad Insanali of Guyana. Please turn your attention to the screen.
Hi, my name is Neneka Norville. I'm the Director of Corporate Social Responsibility. My role is essentially to be the conduit between BET Networks and the community. How can we use the BET brand to help better the world, essentially? I chose corporate social responsibility as my career path because it really combined both my creativity and my love of writing with my passion for social good, and there are not many careers where you can be purpose-driven while also, working in a corporate setting. One of the great and exciting things about working in corporate responsibility on the entertainment side is that I also get to work with celebrities and see their philanthropic giving. Celebrities like DJ Khaled, who's a really great advocate, Mary J. Blige, Rihanna, the Will and Jada Smith Foundation, and the Smith family. Some of the projects I'm most proud of with my work at BET involve our breast cancer campaign. It's called BET Goes Pink, and it's recently evolved into a whole television special. I'm proud of some of the awards I've won, such as the Network Journal 40 Under 40 Award, Women in Cable Television Rising Star Award, Distinguished Achievement Award from my law school, Brooklyn Law School. So all of those awards are really, near and dear to me, and I appreciate the recognition. More Than Esquires Network is a membership community I co-founded with a colleague of mine as a place for attorneys who don't necessarily practice law anymore, who have professional passions beyond the practice of law. I think the thing that people don't know about me is that I'm a little bit of a daredevil. So I have a conservative streak, but I also like to do skydiving and wild, crazy rides, and so that's something that people would probably not expect from me. My family always comes first. I have a 3.5-year-old daughter. She's amazing, she's funny, she's smart, she's curious. My parents are immigrants from Guyana, and they came to this country with, the goal of bettering all of our lives. And so they were really supportive of me in anything that I decided I wanted to do, both from a extracurricular perspective and from a professional perspective. So having that support at home really allowed me to spread my wings and be adventurous with my career, which is what I've been trying to do.
It is my distinct honor to present this award to Neneka Norville this evening. They say that in the Caribbean it is becoming the norm to see women in control of fields like education and health, and even nowadays in engineering. But tonight we celebrate a woman who has achieved great heights in the television industry, and we honor her for that. It is my pleasure to present this award on behalf of Caribbean-American Heritage, the Vanguard Award to Neneka Norville, and I make so bold as to claim her as a daughter of Guyana since her parents are Guyanese.
Wow, I feel like Rihanna. But I can't sing, so I won't torture you. Song. So thank you, ICS, for this honor. I'm very humbled to receive this award. Like the ambassador said, my parents are Guyanese, and they always taught me hard work and perseverance will get me far, and that is very true. When I think of the Vanguard Award and what it means to me, I think of my favorite quote by French poet Anais Nin. Life shrinks or expands in relation to your courage. So I've tried to be courageous with my career, and I really feel that my family has allowed me to be courageous by supporting me. If you're a Caribbean, you know that you have 3 options for your career as a first generation. You can be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. So I chose lawyer, and I practiced for several years until I realized that I had another calling in corporate philanthropy. And it was my family that allowed me to be courageous enough to pursue that and support me in my goals. I now have a daughter who's almost 4, who allows me to be courageous as a mother. So I love you, Layla. And essentially, I just want you all to be courageous in whatever you're doing. Go forward, be brave, and thank you. And congratulations to all the honorees.
Enika Norville, welcome.
Thank you.
And congratulations on your award for Vanguard tonight.
Thank you very much.
At the Caribbean-American Heritage Awards. How did you feel when you got the call that said, you know, we are recognizing you for your work as a Vanguard. We want to see you as the Vanguard for this year.
I was very surprised and also very honored. I know there are several executives from my company at BET Networks that have gotten the award in the past. So I'd heard of the awards and how honorable it was to be recognized. So really excited and just humbled.
Yeah. So, you know, what does Vanguard mean? And what does it mean to you? And what does it mean to you in your work?
To me, it means to be a trailblazer, to think outside of the box and be innovative, and I hope that I embody those things in my work and in my personal life. So that's what really a Vanguard means to me.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about your work then and how you've innovated in the field.
Sure, so I work in corporate philanthropy, and my role is to really be a bridge between my company and the nonprofit, NGO, and government world. So you have the opportunity to be purpose-driven, but also be within a corporation that has the resources to help millions of people. So really it's about how do you engage your audience, or as a television company, how do you engage your employees, and how do you drive change in a way that keeps people interested in today's, you know, biggest global issues.
Right. And, you know, what keeps you passionate about that work?
So what keeps me passionate is just the fact that there's so many more people to reach. Once you think that you've, you know, addressed a cause, whether it's education or poverty or civic engagement, getting people to vote, there's never an opportunity to stop. You have to keep on going and find new ways to engage people and make things interesting, because these are issues that affect everybody and that will affect everybody for the rest of our lives.
Right. So today, it seems like more and more consumers are conscious of what they're buying into. How does a corporation like BET teach consumers like me and us that you have a heart that's more than just about money?
It's really about investment. So we invest in terms of our creativity, our resources, our employees, as much as we do into our productions, our television productions, into our cause work. So whenever we find an opportunity to match the two and to really let our audience know, yes, you should be watching the BET Awards, but you should also be worrying about going to college, we marry those two messages together, and we kind of call it hiding the broccoli and the brownies.
Oh, that's smart. And as you think about, you know, young people who might be interested in getting into corporate America, or might be also interested or dealing with this balance between, I want to do good, should I work at a nonprofit?
Right.
But I also see the benefit of working for a large corporation. What should be their path, or what should they be thinking about in terms of that type of career, or how you've made your career?
I think it's really an individual path. It's about what you're able to do from a resources perspective, where your expertise is, what you're passionate about. But I would advise young people to get a really strong mentor that can help guide them along the way, who's been there, who can give them honest and sound advice. There's nothing like having somebody by your side to help you along the way.
When we come back, the presentation of the Excellence in Medicine Award, the Excellence in Science and Technology Award, and the prestigious Forerunner Award. Stay tuned. The 24th Caribbean-American Heritage Awards will be right back.
When America wants to know what's happening in the Caribbean diaspora, there is one clear choice.
Hello, welcome to Carib Nation.
Both people inside and outside are
very excited about today's program. Looking at you, I can tell that you have traveled the journey.
One television organization brings America close to the people, stories, and events that affects Caribbean life. Get close, get answers, get Carib Nation.
How many of us have asked the question, what if we could live forever? With the research in medicine, much of the work that Dr. Lowe is doing, the trajectory of our lives is getting longer and longer. The Caribbean American Heritage Award for Excellence in Medicine goes tonight to Dr. Clive Callender. He has been at the forefront of organ transplant and so many other incredible medical procedures.
Miracle is a word Dr. Clive Callender uses often, especially when he describes his interesting tale of survival.
Interesting story because I was born at home.
Maybe not so unusual in 1936 to be born at home, but this was New York City. And his mother?
She had 2 girls and 2 boys before me. The boys died.
She grieved for her loss and was praying for another son.
She got pregnant again, and lo and behold, we're twin boys.
It was a miracle for her. But then,
within 48 hours, she died of complications of delivery. And that left me and my twin brother without our mother.
He says as newborns, he and his brother were placed in foster care. When their father, who worked on the railroad, couldn't care for them, there was another miracle in their lives. Their mother's sister, who was devoutly religious, came forward and took them both to raise them with her own family.
I spent most of my early days in church, reading the Bible, learned how to reading the Bible, decided I wanted to be a medical missionary.
Clive started high school hoping to realize his dream, but in the 30s and 40s, New York City was teeming with tuberculosis.
At the age of 15, I contracted pulmonary tuberculosis.
After 18 months in hospitals, he knew what he still wanted to do.
He had an opportunity to see people dying, people living.
After those 18 months, he took 2 tests. One proved that he was cured. The other, an IQ test, proved that he was smart enough to pursue any occupation that he wanted. Medicine was still his choice.
I was going to be a medical missionary. That was my goal in life.
But with no school since entering the hospital with TB, the prospect of medical school was dim. But he stayed with his goal.
It was amazing to me and to the rest of my classmates, when in point of fact, I was the first person in the class to get accepted into medical school. How that miracle took place, I'll never know.
But he went on to become a doctor and to make miracles happen for others. First, by becoming a medical missionary.
It's amazing how in my life I've had faith and would step out and the ground would be there.
And then making more miracles for others, creating the Transplant Center at Howard University, and saving even more lives. Like this one.
The award to Dr. Callender will be presented by His Excellency Selwyn Hart, Ambassador of Barbados. Ambassador Hart.
Thank you. Good evening. Members of the Diplomatic Corps, elected officials, special invited guests, honorees, ladies and gentlemen, Caribbean people, of course. Are there any Bajans in the house? Okay, quite a few. It is my distinct honor and pleasure to present this award for excellence in medicine to Dr. Clive Callender, a son of Barbados. Dr. Callender, truly your work is about life. Your vision of creating a lifeline for people with life-threatening diseases through building a community for organ transplant is phenomenal. It therefore gives me great pleasure to present to you the Caribbean-American Heritage Award for Excellence in Medicine. Dr. Callender.
asked Dr. Callender if it's okay if I interview him. So it is okay. All right. Dr. Callender, for those in the audience who do not know your background, would you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, after my Barbadian mother and father dropped me off in New York City, I'm a twin. I grew up in New York City and did my training in all the public schools in New York City. And then, in spite of many obstacles, including getting tuberculosis and growing up in the church, I was able to accomplish, to get over tuberculosis, even though I had a lobectomy when I was very young and was in the hospital for 18 months. And even though I was such a lousy student in college, I had a 1.8 out of 4 average as a freshman and 2 point, and I flunked chemistry in my second year in college and was told that I didn't have what it takes to become a doctor. But my faith in God told me that no matter what everybody else said, that I was going to be a medical missionary, which I wanted to do. And when my dream came true a little later, I had to go to Africa and spend 9 months in Africa, but I lost 40 pounds. And so it seemed to me that maybe that wasn't my home after all. And so I went back for another 3 months and I lost 20 pounds. And so I decided that I better come back to my new home in the United States and take up transplantation. And lo and behold, once again, overcame tuberculosis, overcame the shortage of donors, the #1 problem with transplantation today. And as a consequence, even though when I started it seemed as like an impossible dream, now, in 2010, African American only donor per million is #1 in African Americans in the United States of America. We used to be at the bottom, now we're at the top. And, that's another miracle. So I've had many miracles, many instances where obstacles were transformed into stepping stones to success. And this is really my life story.
Dr. Callender, what do you say to young people who admire you and would like to walk in your footsteps? What should they do?
When you have faith in God, when you believe in God and in yourself, there's no impossible dream. There's no unreachable star. And so all things then are possible. There's no impossible dream. So if I could do it, if I could have a 1.8 out of 4 and wind up with a 2.5 out of 4 as a graduate of Hunter College and then go on to finish medical school as the #1 student in my class, all things are possible.
Dr. Lowe, who spoke earlier, asked for donations for some support for his research. I wonder if we should ask this audience for some organ donations for your research.
Yes, yes. You know, it's been wonderful because when I started off, they said blacks wouldn't donate. And now we can see that once blacks are educated and empowered, they have gone from the bottom to the top. So the answer is yes. Organs and tissues are needed. You can register to become a donor. You can sign off tissue donor cards. In life, you can donate blood or tissues or organs, and after death, you can do that. So that the answer is yes. Register to become a donor. That would be something when you go and get your license, or if you just want to register. Just go to beadonor.org and sign up. Yeah, that's what I would love to leave behind, if you could do that for me. Thank you so much. What a pleasure to be with you.
Now, we go to the Caribbean American Heritage Award for Excellence in Science and Technology. And this year, the award goes to Bevil Wooding, one of the outstanding specialists in internet technology.
Bevil Wooding is known as a man of many hats. He is a technologist,
a syndicated columnist, and internet strategist, a diplomat, a leader, a husband, and a father. Most of all, he is a unique Caribbean man who has made an indelible mark on the international stage. His pioneering use of information and communications technology has had an impact on diverse fields, and Trinidad and Tobago National is known for his faith and his conviction of the potential of the technology to bring opportunity and empowerment to all. For Bevil Wooding, the Caribbean is his home and the world his workplace.
Bevil Wooding, he carries the rhythm and the joy and the power of a new Caribbean on the inside of his heart.
At the level of the regional education system, the contribution made by Bevil, I would say, is incalculable, because by virtue of helping us launch the Cape Digital Media, which was the first online new generation Cape subject, it opened the door to many more things.
I can't think of anyone with whom I've come into contact over the last years more deserving of being recognized in this manner. His contribution has been transformative, and I think that the court and the region is in a different place to where it was 3 years ago. And then I discovered that there were a number of other institutions which were receiving the same quality of support that I was getting. And then I discovered that you had a spiritual base, and that you're a leader and supporter of persons around the world in this area. And then I discovered, and I discovered, and I discovered.
He's a man of integrity, that I really believe Bevil has a heart for people.
I think Bevil has recognized the opportunities that access to technology provides for many, and the power of these technologies to empower people who might otherwise have been voiceless, powerless, without reach.
The OACS is very proud to claim you and your contribution, and we join in our other Caribbean brothers and sisters in a claim and appreciation of your work and your contribution to our Caribbean civilization in this digital era.
I would like to congratulate him for this well-deserved honor. And I'd also just like to make mention of his wife, Camille, who has supported him in making this tremendous sacrifice.
Well, it's a real honor and privilege and pleasure to join in congratulating you on being a recipient of the Caribbean-American Heritage Award.
Congratulations, Bevil. Let this be a stepping stone to even greater commitment and energy and work in our region, which we love and which we call home.
Bevil Wooding, Caribbean American Heritage, Excellence in Science and Technology Award winner.
The award to Mr. Wooding will be presented by Ambassador, His Excellency Anthony Philip Spencer, Ambassador of Trinidad and Tobago.
Pleasant good evening, everyone. When you're at the top of your game in a field like science and technology in today's age, there's a special reason to be proud. For those of us who come from Trinidad and Tobago, and someone like myself who knows Bevil Wooding, Bevil has made, and trust me, will continue to make his mark in one of the most challenging industries in the world today. Bevil's work, his distinctive work in the internet field, continues to influence not just the United States of America, but across the globe. Bevil has worked on his own particular projects with his Bright Path Foundation, And we continue to be proud that given the forward march in technology, we are sure that Bevil will continue to give much more to us as life goes on. I have the distinct privilege and pleasure this evening to welcome on stage Bevil Wooding, a modern-day Bezaleel, a son of the Caribbean, a son of Trinidad and Tobago, who continues to help us strengthen relations between between the Caribbean and the United States of America, to receive this year's CARROLL Excellence in Science and Technology Award. Join me, please, in congratulations.
If he would mind if I interviewed him. Tell us a little bit about your past and your childhood and youth. Not that you're not a youth now, of youthful.
My past is much like many in this room in the Caribbean. We went to school at a time when there was no internet. I keep saying I didn't study what I do now at university or at school. And to me, it speaks to the potential and capacity that exists and that has defined Caribbean people. And it was actually one of the things that continues to inspire me when I look around at the challenges, yes, but the opportunities that exist in every single Caribbean territory that I have touched, and there's been most of them. And that is, we make the most of what we are given, and we use our God-given gifts and our creativity to shape our destiny. And that really has been the defining for what I see as my responsibility to help Caribbean development along.
Could you give us some detail about your work and what you're accomplishing?
Here's the thing about answering that question. I work in the technology field, and technology touches everything. And you would hear people say, Bevil is a man of many hats. And if you look from the outside, it might seem that I'm doing things in the justice sector and in education and in telecoms. But truthfully, I'm doing one thing, and that is using technology as a servant for a much greater master plan. That plan is the development of the Caribbean and the improvement of lives in the Caribbean. It sounds cliche, but to me, there is no better use for the technology that exists now and to transform who we are as a people and to allow us to move toward our best dreams. Is it challenging? Absolutely. This is not for the faint of heart. Anyone who has done any work in Caribbean development would know there are very real obstacles and obstructions and barriers on the pathway to the development that we seek. But is it worth it? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I have faith, and I've seen that faith and that conviction and that enthusiasm in others, so much so that it allows what I do to be easy and to be moved by it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Wooding.
Bevil Wooding, welcome. And congratulations on your Caribbean American Heritage Award for Excellence in Science and Technology.
Thank you very much.
Can you tell me a little bit about how you felt when you learned that you were going to be one of the awardees this year?
Well, in a word, surprise. I had known about the Caribbean Heritage Awards and always felt that it was an excellent way to recognize persons who had been working silently in the fields, both in North America but also in the Caribbean. But never did I ever think that I would be one of the nominees for an award. So it was really a surprise, a pleasant surprise, but a surprise nevertheless.
Yeah, well, congratulations for your recognition. So science and technology is broad. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about what specifically you're being recognized for in this award.
I have been doing a number of things in the Caribbean, in the area of the internet governance, using technology for development. While technology has been a common thread in the work that I've been doing, it has actually touched almost every sector. So the issue of science and technology, while it is the underpinning of the activities that I've been engaged in, really and truly, if you think about it, or if I think about it, the issue has always been one of developing the region and, more importantly, developing the people of the region. And there's no better way to do that than with the empowerment and with the facilitating tools that come with science and technology. So a lot of work has been in the area of education, outreach, capacity building. All of these terms that you hear bandied about, they actually have tangible value in terms of giving people who would not otherwise have opportunity a chance to do something with their lives, a chance to impact their communities, and it sounds boastful or it sounds grand, but a chance to change the world.
Yeah.
And that's what the technology has allowed for a number of persons in the Caribbean. And we, and I say we meaning those who work in this field, have been trying to find ways to excite and interest and involve persons across the region, from Belize to Suriname and everywhere in between, to take advantage of available technology to make a difference wherever they are.
Oh, wow. So a lot of work happening in many different ways, but really focusing on education.
Yes. And
helping people to understand the opportunities that this technology provides.
Correct.
Awesome.
And well, when you say education, so most people assume education is school, class, training, but
right.
I'm talking about helping government ministers understand how to make sense of tools and policy and technology that is changing so rapidly in their day-to-day decision making, to helping teachers and parents understand how to protect their charges in terms of staying safe online and in terms of making intelligent life choices given the many opportunities that are out there.
Right, keeping our businesses competitive.
Absolutely.
All of the above in this world environment. Phenomenal. Well, I mean, I'm excited that you're getting this award for sure, because I'm sure you've been doing phenomenal work. What is one message you would want to give a Caribbean young person about getting into a career in science and technology and doing some of the work that you've been doing?
Well, the single piece of advice I would give is find a vocation that intersects with your passion.
Okay.
And I say that because there's so many different areas and fields that one can get involved in. And whatever you choose will involve hard work, dedication, devotion, commitment. To make that sustainable, you have to be doing something you actually enjoy, something that brings a sense of fulfillment and purpose. For me, I'm coming from a faith-based background, and so the activity that I do, many people will consider to be crazy. Why would you do all of these things without the chance for reward? But for me, it's purpose-based and purpose-driven. So it's not work, it's not labor, it's life. And for young persons looking to choose a field or to pick an area to put their focus and energy, I would say pick a field that brings a sense of fulfillment and brings a sense of completion to a life purpose.
Our next award is the Caribbean-American Heritage Forerunner Award, and it is given tonight to a leader here in the District of Columbia, the Honorable Carl Racine. Mr. Racine is the first elected Attorney General of the District of Columbia and a son of immigrants from Haiti, and his award will be presented by His Excellency Paul Altidore, Ambassador of Haiti.
Carl is driven by wanting to make a difference in people's lives and to really uplift people. To me, Carl embodies what it means to be a servant leader. And as a servant leader, he recognizes that he has been entrusted in a very special role and been given a very special opportunity. And candidly, Carl doesn't want to waste it.
One of the highlights of my 33 years of judicial service came in January 2015, when I administered the oath of office to Carl as the first elected Attorney General in the history of the District of Columbia. Carl has established a first-rate public law firm for the residents of the District of Columbia. Of critical importance, he has established an independent Attorney General's office and has safeguarded the independence against encroachments. His work on juvenile justice reforms, affordable housing, and consumer protection, among many other efforts, have already resulted in improvements in the lives of district residents.
He has been an active Attorney General. Carl has recognized that this is an opportunity for the district to really move forward in terms of the ultimate goal of statehood. He has been recognized as a leader by his fellow AGs. He's in the leadership of the National Attorneys General Association. He is a co-chair of the Democratic Attorneys General Association. So not only do we in the district recognize him as a leader, but he's recognized nationally. In addition, the work that he has led the office to do. The District of Columbia AG's office is at the forefront of many national cases.
I applaud you, Carl, and give you my hearty congratulations on being named one of the recipients of the Caribbean-American Heritage Awards for 2017. Congratulations, my friend.
Good evening. Dr. Nelson, thank you again for extending this invitation to the Embassy of Haiti. This is my third time running being here, and every year it's always an honor, it's always a great pleasure to be part of this activity. But this year in particular is of significant importance to me as an ambassador, to me as a Haitian. Actually on this very day we're sitting here, Haiti is actually celebrating the last battle that gained its independence as we speak today. And so it's quite fitting that I'm here today to present this to a person who exemplifies what the Haitian community over the years has become in terms of its maturity, in terms of the extension and the level of success that we're seeing among Haitian-American in the United States. As you all know, obviously, Haiti has seen more than its fair share of challenges, but we are always hopeful because we know the greatness lies in our midst. There are so many great things being accomplished by members of our community, our extended diaspora here. Among our diaspora leaders, here in DC, the Attorney General, Mr. Racine, a friend who's been a friend of the embassy, whose mother, by the way, I'm hoping you guys can actually say a prayer for Professor Racine, who's actually after, if I may say, but who's been a great friend, a great member of this community for a very, very long time, who happens to be hospitalized today, so I hope you can keep her in your prayers tonight. So it is really my great pleasure to be presenting this award, the Caribbean-American Heritage Forerunner Award, to Mr. Carah Racine, the Attorney General of Washington, D.C.
Warming him up for you, and I asked him a question, and I asked him if it was okay for me to ask him that question in front of all of you, because he's a politician. I know how politicians don't like to be taken by surprise by the media. The question I'd like to ask, and after which you are most welcome to make some remarks, Attorney General Racine, is, do you have any plans to ever run for mayor of the District of Columbia?
Thank you very much for that easy question. And the answer to that question, as I told a person who I've looked up to for years, as MAUREEN BUNYAN, is that there may be a time for that, but I actually think our mayor is doing a very good job, and that's Mayor Bowser. And so for me, I'm focused on the Attorney General position. Now on to my remarks, if I could. Let me just first say how much respect and admiration I have for the ICS and certainly all of the honorees, not only today but in the past. I want to also say that I so admire our great ambassador to the United States, Paul Altidore, who's done an extraordinary job of reviving the Haitian embassy as a place where anyone can come in and really absorb the great history and knowledge and entrepreneurial spirit and courage and decency of Haitians. So I invite you all to visit the Haitian Embassy. As far as my remarks go, they'll be incredibly brief. The ambassador mentioned my mother, Marie Racine. Everything that I do that might be positive or may help someone else is really as a result of the education that I got at home at the hand of my mother and father, and watching my mother especially give her heart and soul to people who are less fortunate than we in this room are. And so my proudest accomplishments at the Office of Attorney General is when we can use the law to help poor people in ways in which they need it the most, because they're often forgotten. For that privilege, I say thank you, and for the honor, I say thank you.
When we come back, the presentation of the 2017 Outstanding Entrepreneurship Award, the Trailblazer Award, and the Excellence in Art Award to be presented to reggae superstar Etana. You don't want to miss this. We'll be right back.
Support for the 24th Annual Caribbean-American Heritage Awards were provided by Bert Smith & Company, helping clients succeed today and planning for tomorrow. Federal Management System, a proven leader in helping federal and municipal agencies achieve their goals. The Future Forum, helping leaders scope the signals embedded in the landscape of the present and move from future shock to future sense. JDOS International, a woman-owned management consultant business. And Lowe, empowering physicians to provide exceptional healthcare online.
Now, our next awardee is the Trailblazer awardee. A trailblazer, of course, goes where no one has gone before, courageously and without fear. And that is this life story of the Honorable Jennifer Carroll, the former Lieutenant Governor of Florida. The Caribbean-American Heritage Trailblazer Award will be presented tonight by His Excellency Ambassador Anthony Phillips Spencer.
As an immigrant coming to America from Trinidad, West Indies at the age of 8, I was anxious to come to this country and at the same time nervous about what to expect. My life has been full of challenges, which I account in my autobiography, When You Get There. But I was blessed to have the upbringing of two wonderful Trinidadian and Trimbagonian parents, Jean and Carl, who gave me the necessary Caribbean ingredients to overcome challenges to succeed. And those ingredients were to stay firm in my belief in God, do the very best that I could, believe in myself, and that no one owed me anything. Therefore, I'd have to work hard to make my way and never forget to help others. I fashioned my life utilizing these ingredients, and I would say that my Caribbean upbringing and culture played a great part in making me the woman that I am today. I've been blessed to have a husband of 34 years and 3 wonderful children who allowed me the time to give back to my community. As I ascended in rank in the military, my professional, business, and political life, I was able to make pathways straight, not only for women, but for men as well.
Knowing Jennifer since the 1980s, we've matured together. Jennifer aspired from the enlisted ranks to become a proven leader. Serving in the United States Navy, raising a family, and being involved in the community, Jennifer was everywhere, helping everyone, and always had plans to help others, especially those who were unable to help themselves. A personal account was her devotion to country, people, and family. As a military leader, she never forgot the hardships of her enlisted sailor life. She tirelessly worked to help others regardless of the personal or professional nature. She strived to assist younger sailors to ensure they made advancement promotions. She was always there for her troops and set a high example for all of us.
Blazing the trail is not always easy, but it's necessary. Being the first or the only is a very lonely place, and what you do with your position or knowledge to improve the lives of others while you're trying to fight the good fight can be very difficult. Some people give up thinking that it's too hard to keep fighting, but remember that God will never give you more to handle than you can bear. He will be your protector, your guide, and your strength.
Jennifer's accomplishments has also encouraged a lot of Caribbean nationals to aspire to to know that they can aspire to anything that they want to do. Just her ranks in the military, her ranks in the political world gives us and our offsprings the opportunity to know that we can achieve anything that we want to achieve while here.
I firmly believe that once you've been enriched by the Almighty, you must do His will and give back, for in giving you will be richly blessed. I thank my family and my friends for their unwavering support throughout my life. You have been a beacon of light at the end of some dark tunnels, and had it not been for you, I would not be here receiving this honorable Trailblazer Award. I thank the Institute for this prestigious recognition, and I challenge those who are able to do their part to enrich the lives of someone else to be the next Trailblazer. The rewards for doing what's right will always outweigh the trials and tribulations.
Jennifer is a pioneer in every sense of the word. She is the first in many things. First Black person and first woman elected to the position of Lieutenant Governor in the state of Florida. As a girl from Trinidad, I'm inspired by Jennifer's journey and success. When you get there, her memoir reflects her strength and tenacity. Her autobiography showed authenticity and gave me encouragement that I too, a girl from the island of Trinidad and Tobago, can make it away from home. Jennifer, it is truly my pleasure to call you my friend, my sister, and mentor. You carry the torch of hope, shining the path for all to follow. Thank you for your integrity. Thank you for your service. I cannot think of anyone more deserving of this award. Congratulations.
Pardon my broader smile, but it must be particularly pleasurable as an ambassador to have to come back to present another award to another recipient who's been born in Trinidad and Tobago. The last award I presented to Bevil was excellence. But this award is going to be presented beyond excellence, where you take excellence and over time continue to open space for others to follow. And so tonight I'm pleased to present the Trailblazer Award to the Honorable Jennifer Carroll, former Lieutenant Governor of Florida. I'm sure you've been reading the bios. I'm sure you recognize that she was the first female Lieutenant Governor of Florida. I'm sure that if you read, you will see that there are other many feats that she achieved to blaze the trail. I am proud and pleased again to invite another Caribbean American citizen to the stage to receive this award. Jennifer has come to represent the best of the Caribbean life and culture of our beautiful region, and I'm pleased to invite her now to accept the 2017 Caribbean American Heritage Trailblazer Award. Please.
Dr. Nelson talked about being a visionary, and had it not been for her vision to create ICS and to be the person that continues to make sure it's flowing through to pass on to future generations, we would not be here tonight. I also want to take a point of personal privilege to thank you. And I want you to give yourselves a round of applause for being here and staying here and supporting ICS as well. Now, I would not be fortunate to be here even if it was not for my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I want to thank God for giving me life, for giving me the opportunity to give back and to make a difference. And I want to thank Him for blessing me with the best family this side of the earth. And that is with my husband, please stand up, Nolan, of 34 years. He is known as the man. My son, you know, and I'm truly blessed tonight to have all of my children and my husband with me. Usually my son, he's an NFL player, and typically we're around his schedule, and he's hardly ever able to be at events where I'm getting recognized, and the Lord has blessed us to be all together tonight. And Nolan, Carol, please stand up. He is single. Any good pretty women out there? My daughter Nikki. Stand up, Nikki. Graduated of University of Florida. My son Nolan is a graduate of University of Maryland, right in your backyard. Played football, he's a Turk. And my youngest son, our youngest son, I didn't do it alone, I have my husband's help. So my youngest son, Nico, stand up, Nico, graduate of Florida Atlantic University. And they say a rich person is a person who has friends that they can truly call friends at any time to be there to support them. And I have my family and friends with me. Cheryl, stand up. Cliff, stand up. Cynthia, stand up. You guys have been there through thick and thin, and I could not be here without you. Now we talk about the Caribbean diaspora, and I am very proud that I'm a daughter of the soil. Born in Trinidad, West Indies, the land where Carnival, of course. Marshall Montano, my boy. I like to play my mouse, so don't get mad. If you want to come to Trinidad during Carnival time, it's a great time, but Christmas is great as well. And anytime you want to come to the land of Trinidad is great because it is the place where every race have an equal place, right? And all of our Caribbean islands are like that. My husband, and that's why he's so good, because he has a little bit of Caribbean blood in him. He's from Bahamian background, and we just spent his 60th birthday in the Bahamas at the settlement where his family grew up. It was his first time going back there. I think it is so important that we take our children back to our soil to show them where we have come from. All of my children, from the time they were small to the time they've grown, have been on the soil, know about Trinidad, know about CARROLL, know about roti, know about licks. Because we didn't spare no licks when it comes to straightening up their behind. Right? Once you do that with your children, they know that they come from good stock. So therefore, they will be able to get a good education. They will be able to know that they are valued and they have self-worth to produce something for future generations. Well, the Lord has blessed me with life, talent, intellect, knowledge, strength to overcome. And I have let me tell you, go on Amazon.com, buy my autobiography when you get there, and it will motivate you, inspire you, and help you uplift through challenging times. Because none of us will go through life where things are so easy. None of us will have a smooth pathway where you never take a jump in a road. But it's how you get up, how you dust it off, how you put your shoulders back and say, you know what? Ain't nobody gonna stop me now. Because I am stepping out there and I'm gonna make it happen. And that's what you have to do. Throughout my political life, it hasn't been easy being the only little darky there. Right? In the military, 20 years I spent in the military. Being the only one at the table, and I wasn't
the only person to blaze the trail and create pathways for others. Those that came before me did it as well. I remember Cynthia and I know. Cynthia's a former captain, retired in the military as well. Oh, you're like it, you're just not. Let me shut up, listen. So, I hope it plays. But let me tell you quickly. In the military for 20 years, I started off as an enlisted E1, cleaning bird poop from the trucks. But no job is so beneath you that you couldn't do it. If Jesus could wash people's feet, no job is beneath you, but it's how you do the job. The excellence that you bring about in that job, the role model that you play, you never know who's watching you. And at the time you think that nobody's watching you, watch and see. They'll come and get you licks. But know that God is always watching what you do, how you're treating His children, the talents and skills that He's given you. How are you using it for the betterment of His children? And in doing so, in doing what's right, in times of wrong and in times of good, will let you know that you're truly a child of God and your blessings will come even if you don't see it. My blessing came tonight in honoring me, a daughter of the soil, to recognize all that I have done and given back, and I will continue to do more, because those that are truly blessed need to make sure that you reach behind and pull somebody up with you. May God bless you all.
Jennifer Carroll, congratulations.
Thank you.
On your Trailblazer Award for the Caribbean-American Heritage Awards for 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Such an honor.
It is.
How did you feel when you found out that the Institute for Caribbean Studies was recognizing you in this way?
It was a momentous occasion because I didn't expect it. And being born in Trinidad and being recognized by my people was it was an honor. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate being recognized for the things that I've been able to accomplish.
Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about some of those things that you've accomplished.
Well, throughout my life, well, let me start back up. Coming to America at the age of 8 with my parents, who were not my biological parents, they adopted me, but they were in family, and having the challenge of coming to America, assimilating in America, having a different culture and different environment than what I was accustomed to in Trinidad was a challenge in itself. And then going into the Navy at the age of 17 after graduating high school, and then being in a male-dominated environment where I worked in aviation community, and it was just open to females in the late 70s. So it wasn't very welcoming, and particularly for a black female, it wasn't very welcoming at all. So to the award of being a trailblazer, I started early on as a young teen, not really understanding that this is what my life was going to be, in paving the way for others to come behind me and making it a little easier. And as you see in the news today, a lot of issues are coming up with regards to harassment and women in the workplace. Right. And it's nothing new. It's new to the young people of today. But for the old folks like myself, these are things that we've had challenges with throughout, particularly if you work in a male-dominated environment, that you've had to deal with, and many people have dealt with it differently. In my instance, I've been able to, number one, use my God as my solid rock to help me through it, because many times coming up, I didn't have someone like me that I can turn to and confide in. And many people on the outside couldn't really understand what I was going through in the military. And then coming into the political world, in both of my elections, I made history in the state of Florida in being the first black Republican female ever elected to the state legislature, being the first black Republican, actually first black woman to be elected as lieutenant governor, and the first black and Caribbean to be elected statewide. Wow. But one thing I want people to know is that if you're able to be in a position of being a trailblazer, a pioneer, be a first of anything, that in itself means absolutely nothing if you don't turn around and do something that's going to be beneficial to others to come behind you.
And to the community as
Absolutely.
well, right? Wow. So our Caribbean region, and as someone from Trinidad too, we still seem to struggle to attract women into politics, right? Even though we're a majority female society, female-headed society, what factors do you think impact women's decision to run for elected office in the Caribbean or even in the diaspora? And should there be more intentional efforts to attract women or to encourage women to run?
Well, I totally agree with all of the above. However, when I've traveled, particularly in South Africa, I've been able to do a trade mission to South Africa where I was successful in bringing back over $40 million in new trade between South Africa and Florida. And the South African government, after apartheid, really made a concerted effort to get more women and women of color elected to office. We don't really have that concerted effort here in the United States. And in my travels, I had a trade mission to Trinidad and Tobago as well, bringing back over $30 million of new trade between Florida and Trinidad and Tobago. And in visiting and having discussions with many of the elected officials in Parliament there, I was able to see that Trinidad has a better emphasis and representation of women in their elected office. Now come to the United States, what tends to get women involved in politics is when critical mass happens. Something tragic has occurred. It has reached a pinnacle where people say enough is enough and that they get involved. Where the opposite for men, they're already told you're going to be this. You're going to create a pathway. Somebody's guiding you and moving you through that. And that's one thing that I've taken upon myself to mentor young women, to show them and lead them the way if they do want to get involved in politics or government. It doesn't necessarily have to be an elected office. There's lobbying, there's other avenues that you can take to impact and influence politics. So I share through some of my pitfalls and some of my being naive and coming into the political process, share with them these things so they do not have to fall through the same pitfalls I have had, and give them a leg up in understanding and navigating through the waters of politics.
Awesome. One message that you would give to a young person from the Caribbean or who is of Caribbean heritage about pursuing a career in politics or in the military or, yeah.
One thing, particularly for politics, I would say get involved in your community. Because if you don't understand what's the issues impacting the local community, then you're not going to be an effective leader, because you're just running for office just to get a name and a title for yourself. When you're running for office or trying to get elected, you're representing the people. And in the United States, it's a representative government, it's a republic. So therefore, it's best to get involved with local community nonprofit organizations, because that's where the rubber hits the road for a lot of our social issues. And the lawmakers are making laws that's impacting people all the way down. And if you don't fully understand and have empathy for the people that these laws are going to be impacting, then you're not going to be an effective legislator. For the military, I would recommend almost every young person to join some form of the military, even if it's for 4 years. It builds character, it builds integrity, it builds a good work ethic, and it gives you an opportunity to travel away from home. A lot of our young people get into trouble because they're stuck in their four walls, and that's all they see. Once you're able to travel to distant lands and distant other communities and see and experience other cultures, you have a broadened experience, and now your space is then broadened so you can see that you can accomplish anything that you want, because the world is your oyster.
Awesome. Well, I think that we need an amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Because as it currently stands, only someone who has been born in the U.S. can run for president. However, you've just seen a lady who was not born in the U.S., and she ought to run for president. So, let's start a movement to amend the Constitution. And after all, as we all know, the numbers of people who are not born in the U.S. is growing. Our immigrant population is growing, and time will come when we will want to talk and to call upon someone who's not a natural, not a born U.S. citizen, to take the helm, the very top helm of government. What do you think about that? We'd like to continue our program, and we have two more incredible Heritage Award winners. Our next honoree is Glendon Archer. Who must be from Guyana. Because I've been watching these Guyanese people all evening. Did you notice, and I noticed something, they got the table right in front of the stage, right in front of the podium, with all the best lighting. This is how Guyanese operate. I would like, can you just control yourselves for a few more minutes? Glendon Archer. His award will be presented by the Ambassador of Guyana, His Excellency Dr. Riyad Nsanawi.
We in Guyana are exceptionally proud of your achievements, knowing that your journey started right here in Guyana many years ago.
Exposure in high school to a small chemistry text named Big Molecules crystallized my fantasy for metals and materials. At age 14, I decided material science and metallurgical engineering were going to be my fields of choice. I've always been fascinated by the world's ever-growing need for materials and the manufacture of metals. My partners and I decided to create a company that focused on the recovery of metals from the huge stockpile of waste that litter the globe, and the development of small-scale mining in parts of the world where access to capital by the ordinary citizen was limited or non-existent. This led us to places like Guyana and the wider Caribbean, where we became collectors of scrap metal, became involved in gold mining, and produced construction and sea defense aggregate from old mine waste. To Tanzania, where we are engaged in copper mining and nickel mining. In Zambia, manganese mining and collection of zinc, copper, and lead materials. In the DRC, collection of cobalt, lead, copper, zinc, germanium, and many other metals. Ever asked what happens to the metals and materials contained in your TV? MCC recovers them. At our facility in northern France, we turn your waste electronics into the world's first urban copper concentrate, which we use to feed the great smelters of the world with copper, gold, silver, and palladium. As we turn to greener energy usage, we need more exotic materials. Electric vehicles, military gear, drones. How do we fill this void? We recycle to recover the contained metals for use in the production of new batteries. Metals, materials, recycling, Metallica.
Glendon was at school below me, just in case anyone is wondering. He's a couple of years below me, and whilst he's done outstandingly well in academics and in mining and his professional life, he was a fine cricketer at school. And he captained the school team, which contained Roger Harper, the future West Indies cricketer, and Garvey Charles, who played cricket for Guyana, amongst other luminaries. And he still loves his cricket. I have to confess that my cricket career was tragically foreshortened due to lack of talent. But Glendon has done us proud. He's done the school proud, he's done the country proud, and I couldn't be prouder to deliver this award to him this evening. The only missteps he made was that he didn't acquire a nickname at school, and he was in Woolly House. But no one's perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Glendon Archer.
Thanks, everybody. The Guyanese people that Ms. Bunyan was talking about, they are part of a loyal and supportive staff that I have in my company. I didn't expect them to be here. And as I was walking to this hall tonight, I saw a bunch of people getting drunk in the bar. And I kind of knew they were my staff. And so it was indeed a pleasant surprise to see them all here. But seriously, loyal, supportive, and any award for being an entrepreneur and being a leader, it's not an award for me, it's an award for my team and I, because they support me every day. And again, my sincerest thank you to the Institute of Caribbean Studies for recognizing the work my team and I have done and continue to do. I applaud your leadership in honoring the work of my brothers and sisters in the Caribbean diaspora. Thank you for recognizing me, recognizing us. Good night.
Mr. Glendon Archer, congratulations
Thank
for
you.
your award in Outstanding Entrepreneurship for the Caribbean American Heritage Awards this year, 2017.
Thank you.
What was your first reaction when you heard that you were being recognized in this way for your work?
I reacted like I react most times to things like this. I looked behind me and asked, are you talking about me or somebody else?
Why is that your reaction most times?
Look, what I do, I enjoy what I do, and I never expect to be awarded for what I do. I'm awarded by what I do every day, and I don't need an award to compliment what I do.
Awesome. So you're the CEO of Metallica Commodities Corporation.
Right.
And your work is in engineering. Can you describe a little bit to how you rose to CEO and what you enjoy most about the role?
Well, look, Metallica Commodities is a company that I formed 17 years ago. I started my career as a young engineer in the United States. I became a metallurgist because I'm fascinated by materials and metals and how they're made and their properties. And after doing engineering things, there was a glass ceiling where engineers do not become executives very often. And so in starting Metallica, I took in some engineering ideas and made them into business ideas. Basically, there's a shortage of raw materials in the world, and there are places in the world where there are lots of mineral resources, but the finances of the world don't make it there. And I thought that I can go there and make a difference. So the Caribbean, Africa, I do a lot of business in those parts of the world. We provide jobs to a lot of people, and we make a lot of people who would not have been successful, pretty successful today.
Awesome. So, as we talk about engineering and we think about the Caribbean recovering from significant damage to many of our islands by hurricanes, what opportunities do you think exist for our region's leaders to consider new technologies, resilience technology in the development of these islands?
The time is perfect.
Okay.
The world is getting greener, and green energy is associated with sunshine, with wind, with the ocean, and that's all located in the Caribbean, right? So the time is right. The issue is always who is going to fund the development, and therein lies the issue, where leaders need to be more nimble as far as understanding the financial world and understanding who in the financial world would go to these countries and implement these new technologies.
Right.
I think our failing in the Caribbean and in the poorer parts of the world is that our leaders do not spend enough time understanding how the world economy works.
Got it. As you think back to yourself 17 years ago and even before, what is a message that you would have for a young person looking to get into the work that you do, your career, whether it's from the business perspective or from the engineering perspective?
Look, my mother always told me hard work pays off, right? And to any young person, if you work hard, you don't complain, it's going to pay off.
Okay.
Sometimes it doesn't appear as though it will, but it does.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. What a wonderful series of comments and so inspirational. Well, we come to a very special moment in our evening, and it's a moment that we hope will bring you out of your seats to dance a little bit. If you know anything about reggae, you know that reggae has become basically the soundtrack in the lives of not only young people, but all of us older people too. It once was an exotic form of music in this country and in Europe. It is now everywhere, very popular, and one of the Caribbean's most successful exports. Our next honoree is proving that women in reggae can be powerful and also bring meaning to social and political issues. Etana, the Strong One, will receive our award for excellence in the arts for her outstanding contribution to reggae music.
She's grounded. She has a voice of gold. She knows who she is and definitely where she's going. Please welcome one of the leading ladies, the beautiful and strong one, Etana.
Your experience are even my own struggles, my own, experience, achievements, stuff like that. You just write about everything. Everything is a story, everything is a song. And everybody can relate because we all kind of go through the same thing, somewhere or the other.
Youth in a garden, youth in a jungle, youth in a Rima, Augustown, youth in a Flancas, De La Vega, Riverton, back to Anmouth Town. Beside of me, you're my strength. You are here to guide me.
Cause when a boy love a girl and a girl love a boy, a judge and bless him.
Like I love you and you love me, I got a blessing. Can't let a man like you go. I want to me why you for know. There's no lie, no other guy can feel me man love me woman in style. And I just wanna thank you for always being there for me. And when we're apart, baby, I just want you to know you're always in my heart. Hear me when I say, yeah.
So Etana, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
It's such a pleasure to speak with you. We're here at the Caribbean-American Heritage Awards, and you are getting an award tonight for excellence in the arts, right?
Yeah.
How did it feel to hear that you were being awarded this phenomenal honor?
Awesome. You know how they say, and I wrote it down today, and I laughed, and I said, people say in music that you don't get highly praised until you pass away.
Right.
So I'm happy to be alive.
I know.
And to be honored and that, my work is being acknowledged. Yeah, it feels really good.
Right. And, not just that you're alive, but you're still young and you're vibrant and you're a woman.
Yeah, you don't have to be a legend before. Like, a living legend is like when you're almost out.
Beyond 70.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they say. So.
Right. And it's such a pleasure. But so tell me a little bit about what you've been challenging in the music industry as a woman in reggae.
You already said it, as a woman.
Tell me, how is that? How have you been pushing the limits?
I have to be tough. Sometimes more serious than I have to be, more aggressive than I really want to be. But I do it anyway because I know I love music and I know what I want and I know where I want to be and I know what I want to accomplish, and so I do what I have to do.
Right.
And with respect, of course, because of course I wouldn't want anyone treating me less.
Right.
But yeah, I just do, like Nike.
And as you talk about respect, you know, in learning more about your story, you have definitely challenged the image of what beauty has to be in music.
Exactly.
You know, today when we look at dance hall videos, the image of what so many women have to be, how we have to be dressed to be seen as beautiful, you've challenged that. You've shown that beauty is not just that. So tell me a little bit about what that has meant for you in your career.
Since I was in maybe middle school through high school, even now, I don't allow the system or the media to set trends that or you know, to make me feel like I have to do or wear anything.
Got it.
I kind of set my own trends. I make my own clothes. I design my own clothes. I wear what I want to wear, do what I want to do. And a part of that is because of how I felt in a video shoot. When the camera, I had on Victoria's Secret lingerie, thong, stiletto heels, and we had choreography to do. And every time I turned to the side with my legs open, the camera guy would go really low. And I felt so belittled. I just felt so, it felt wrong.
Right.
And I'm thinking, what the hell is he able to see? And I'm thinking, should he be doing that? And I just walked off. And I said, if this is what I have to do music, then I'm not gonna do music. And I gave up at that moment till I got to Jamaica, so.
And what brought you back?
I was gonna open up an internet cafe. I was done with music. And then a friend of mine brought me to Richie Spice,
Right.
well, to Fifth Element family, because it's, you know, of course, he's visiting his friends. And him say, yeah, this is the girl I told you that could sing. And of course, they're gonna say, oh, you can't sing, sing with me here, you know? Eventually, after a long conversation, a long day, when we were leaving, I decided to just do a little piece of song. And he said, I want a backup singer for Richie Spice, because his backup singer is about to give birth. I needed to do one show. One show turned into all of this.
Oh, and you are back. You were back and you are vibrant, right?
Well, as I can be, of course.
They call me names, but they just don't get it. When them see me, them just keep on talking. I'm in the city, I just keep on walking. I got my pride. Me now go show me backside. Some of them see me as a big for show. Think me that I want me to keep over. Oh no, not I am not with somebody. And never let them get you down. Never let them see you frown. Take away your liberty. Life can be free. Never let them get you down. Never let them see you frown. Never let them leave you astray. Starting today, live your life right. When you go through heartache, when you cry. When you go through heartache, when you're feeling pain, when you end up in that desert, and I wonder why the hell not rain. When the heart and judgment, and every word of us stay. When the time with the team will try to wash with their life and give them a name. Then take your weak, but I desolate blue. But mind and take a look your business asunder. Don't give them that. See, I've had my trials when my pillows dried my eyes. Then the morning came and my wings took flight. I rise. See, I'm hurting but not broken. Down but I won't die. I rise. Soon I will reach the sky and still we rise. Thank you so much, Dr. Nelson. And thank you to everyone who's ever supported me along the way. For those of you who don't know me, I started off thinking that my music should inspire from the young to the old. My music should uplift. And even in the dance hall, when them wind up and do all of it, I'm thinking that even if my music plays in the dance hall, that people will walk away with something that makes them think that they can always overcome. And I've seen it play out in front of me in so many different ways. Like, people walk up to me and say things like, I'm 6 years drug-free because of you. Or, you took me through cancer, and now I'm cancer-free. Or, you took me through my divorce. Or, my daughter was on a path that I didn't want her to be, and so I got her your music, and she has made a 360. She's a different woman today. When I hear stuff like that, I think, wow, okay, I did it. But I still think that I have so much more to do, so much more to accomplish. And I'm grateful for this prestigious award and to be amongst beautiful, powerful people like you. So big ups to everybody in the Caribbean, and big ups to all of you supporting everyone in the Caribbean.
Have a good night, everybody.
But I am not afraid, no. No, I am not afraid. No, I am not afraid, no. If them are come, let them come, 'cause I'm protected by the Most High. They don't mind.
Thank you for joining us today for the 24th Annual Caribbean-American Heritage Awards Gala in Washington, D.C. For Maureen Bunyan and Abby Charles, I'm Ian Edwards. See you next year.
Influences the youth never stop a line to take a life. And they don't mind. Oh, you're locked up in jail, can't make no bail. Sentenced to life. Can't take the youth them life. They don't mind. But I am not afraid. No, no, I am not afraid.